Hi, here's what we want to be able to say by the end of this video. I can solve mathematical problems using multiplication and division. We're going to start by talking about multiplication fact extensions. This means that you have a basic multiplication fact and you are extending it. You are multiplying it by tens or hundreds or thousands. We're going to start with this one right here. We have 7 30s and I want to multiply what I know first, the basic fact. 7 times 3 gives me 21. I just have to remember that it wasn't 7 times 3, it was 7 times 30. 30 is made up of 3 tens, that's why there's 1 0 after it. So this answer over here is going to be 21 tens with a 0 after it, otherwise known as 210. Let's look at the next one. What number is 50 times as much as 6? I have times, that tells me to multiply. I need to do 50 times 6. Again, I want to use my fact extensions. I have 5 times 6. I know that 5 times 6 is 30. And then I need to think back to my problem. It wasn't 5 times 6, it was 50 times 6. This is 5 tens. My answer then needs to be 30 tens, otherwise known as 300. Now let's try this with division. We can use fact extensions to help us solve division problems too. How many 9s equal 5,400? I have 54 here. I want to think how many 9s are in 54. That would be 6. Now this wasn't just 54, it was 5,400. So that means my answer also needs to be in hundreds. How many 9s are in 5,400 or 5,400 if you put in that comma? The answer would be 600. Notice if I multiply this back, okay, the multiplication is opposite of division. If I take my 600 times my 9, I end up back at 5,400 or 5,400. That's a good way to check and see if you're doing it correctly. Let's look at the next one. How many 50s are in 4,000? I want to start by thinking about what I know. I know that there's a 5 and I know that there is a 40. I want to think to myself, how many 5s are in 40? I know that that answer is 8. Here's where it gets a little bit tricky because we have 5 tens over here and we have 40 hundreds over here, and I want to make sure that when I multiply this 8 times the 50 that I get all the way up to 4,000. If I just leave it at 8 50s, okay, 8 times 5 would be 40, and if I add a 0 that would give me only to 400. I need 4,000. So this means I need to put a 0 at the end of my 8. Now let me see, are 80 50s 4,000? Let's try and multiply to check and see. If I want to check my work, I'm going to take that answer that I got, 80, and I want to take it times the other smaller number to end up at this great big number. So let's see if this works. 80 times 50 equals, well, I have 8 and I have 5. 8 times 5 is 40. And then I'm taking tens times tens, which make hundreds. So if I put 2 zeros there for hundreds, I do get 4,000. So that means this 80 is the answer that I want to have. There are 80 50s in the number 4,000. Let's try some story problems with fact extensions. I have a bear that can weigh between 250 pounds and 600 pounds. A beaver can weigh between 20 pounds and 56 pounds. And raccoon can weigh between 15 pounds and 45 pounds. Remember, this LB stands for the word pounds. My question is, how much would 40 20-pound raccoons weigh? I need to multiply. 4 times 2 is 8, And then I have tens times tens, which make hundreds. So 40 20-pound raccoons would weigh 800 pounds. Wow. Let's try another one. What animal could weigh 20 times as much as a 20-pound beaver? I have times, and I want to know what animal up here out of my three choices might weigh 20 times as much as a 20-pound beaver. I need to multiply to start, so I'm going to take 20 times 20. I know that I have my basic fact of 2 times 2. 2 times 2 equals 4. And then I took tens times tens, which gives me hundreds. So I'm looking for an animal that could weigh 400 pounds. Do you see an animal up there that could weigh 400 pounds? The raccoon couldn't weigh 400 pounds. It can only grow to 45 pounds. The beaver can only get up to 56 pounds. So that means it must be the bear. And it is the bear. 400 comes right in the middle of 250 and 600 pounds. So my answer is not 400 because the question asked me which animal might weigh that much. So my answer is bear. The bear might weigh up to 400 pounds. Let's try one more. How many 20-pound beavers would it take to weigh as much as a 600-pound bear? That means I want to know how many of these beavers at 20 pounds each, how many of them will it take to get as much as a 600-pound bear? I really need to know how many 20s are in 600. This is a division problem. If I were going to write it down, I would do 600 divided by 20. I want to figure out how many 20s does it take to get up to 600. Okay, let's use those fact extensions. How many 2's are inside of 6? Answer, 3. Okay, now I want to remember that I need to take my answer times this smaller number to get back to where I started with. Would 23's get me to 600? No, it would only get me to 60. Let's try adding a 0. What about 20 30's? Do 20 30's get me to 600? Yes. 2 times 3 would be 6, and tens times tens make hundreds. So my answer is 30. It would take 30 beavers at 20 pounds each, 30 beavers, to weigh as much as that big, heavy 600-pound bear. I'm just going to label my answer. There we go. 30 beavers. That's all for today.